This video is lesson 1 on solving inequalities. On example A, we have a true statement, 4 is less than 8. If I divide both sides by 2, I get 2 is less than 4. That is a true statement. However, if I divide both sides by negative 2, I get negative 2 is less than negative 4. That is a false statement. Negative 2 is actually greater than negative 4. That brings us to our only difference in equations and inequalities. On the screen are all the rules for solving equations. For inequalities, the rules are exactly the same except for one thing. Whenever you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, you have to flip the sign. If it's less than, make it greater than. If it's greater than, make it less than. Here's an example. On the equation, step 1 is simplify. Did the distributive property on the left, combine like terms on the right. Step 2, get the variable on one side. We did that by subtracting 12n from both sides. And step 3, get the variable by itself. We did that by subtracting 9 from both sides. When we have an inequality, step 1, simplify, already is. Step 2, variable on one side, already is. Step 3, variable by itself. To get rid of plus 4, we minus 4. That gives us negative 5n less than or equal to 20. Symbol comes down. Then to get rid of times negative 5, we divide by negative 5. As soon as I say multiply or divide by negative, this symbol flips. It goes from less than equal to greater than or equal to. And the answer is n is greater than or equal to negative 4. Inequalities are solved just like equations except one thing. Whenever you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, you have to flip the symbol. Let's look at some more examples. Any of these can be paused for you to try before watching me go over it. On example C, to get rid of times 6, we divide by 6, and we get negative 7 is greater than n, which is a true statement. I can also rewrite it with the variable on the left, which I prefer to do. N is less than negative 7. There were negative numbers involved, but I did not multiply or divide both sides by negative. On D, to get rid of times negative 12, we divide by negative 12. As soon as I say divide by negative, I'm going to flip that symbol from greater than to less than, and I get n is less than negative 5/4. My variable's on the left, which is fine, and I change negative 5/4 to the mixed number, negative 1 1/4. Negative 1.25 would also be correct. You can try E. On E, to get rid of times a fraction, multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So to get rid of times negative 1/2, I multiply both sides by negative 2. Since I'm multiplying or dividing by negative, I flip my symbol. It becomes greater than, and the answer is n is greater than negative 12. You can try F. On F, both sides are in simplest form, but the variable is not on one side. Anytime you have a variable on both sides and a constant only on one side, always move that variable away from the constant. In this case, we subtract 9n from both sides. That gives us negative 1 is less than n, which is true, but it's better written n is greater than negative 1. The mouth opens to the n here, the mouth opens to the n here. I did not multiply or divide both sides by negative, so I did not have to flip my symbol. We can also practice graphing all of these. N is greater than negative 1 would be open circle to the right over the negative 1. On G, I have a variable on both sides, but a constant only on one. Both sides are already simplified, so I need to move this variable away from my constant by by subtracting 4n from both sides, which gives me my answer. N is less than or equal to 12. That would be closed circle to the left over the 12. Let's look at another one. On H, both sides are simplified. To get the variable on one side, I subtract n from both sides, gives me 3 is less than n, which I can rewrite n is greater than 3. That would be open circle to the right over the 3. I did not multiply or divide both sides by negative, so I did not have to flip my symbol. Try I. 12 is greater than negative 6n. On I, to get rid of times negative 6, you divide by negative 6. I said the words divide by negative, so I need to flip my symbol. The greater than becomes less than. 12 divided by negative 6 is negative 2, and I get n by itself. Always rewrite them with the variable on the left, so that is n is greater than negative 2. N is greater than negative 2. That would be open circle to the right over the negative 2. And that is video 1 on solving simple inequalities. The only difference is if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the symbol. Thank you.